Hi, this is John. Today I'm talking bikini posing. Now I'm not talking about male bodybuilding bikini posing where we wear our posing trunks and all of that. I'm talking strictly about in the sport of bodybuilding we have a category that's called bikini. And the women who compete in bikini, I'm talking to you about one specific pose. And some of the reasons why I'm not judging anymore. So let's get to it. To give you a little background, I've done everything for the last 37 years, from competing as a bodybuilder myself, always in the open category, eventually becoming a WNBF pro bodybuilder, natural pro bodybuilder, and I've won some nice titles along the way. I've also been a judge. And as a judge, I've judged all kinds of bikini contests, from the smallest shows, that could be the Muscle Beach show down in Venice, California, 4th of July show, Memorial Day, Labor Day weekend. I've judged that show before it was really, really big. Now it's pretty big. I've also judged the Natural World Championships, amateur pro divisions. I've judged bikini straight through these last 3 years at the World Championship level. I won't be doing that anymore though. And here's some of the reasons why. This one pose in particular, I've mentioned it somewhere else on social media before, and it's the rear glute pose, the glute ham pose for the women in bikini, and here it is. Now that pose, I don't know who started it and who made it mandatory, but years ago when bikini first became popular, that pose somehow, some way, has morphed into a legs spread wide, lower back arched, butt up in the air, leaning over to stretch the hamstring a little bit to supposedly show the glute ham tie-in. And as a judge, and I'm saying this strictly as a heterosexual male, that's a judge. So I'm not going to lie to you. As a heterosexual male and a judge, women getting up on stage, legs spread, arching that back, stretching by bending over slightly even more, they all give us a complete, as judges, a complete view to everything up there between their legs, as well as their glute ham tie-in. So judges would be lying, as far as the heterosexual male judges I know, would be lying if we said we don't notice everything. We see everything, okay? Not just the glute ham tie-in. So I feel myself that it's unnecessary to do that particular pose in that way in order to show the glute ham tie-in. So if that's really what it's about, then we can go ahead and let's say a little truth for you here now. Then if that's really what it's about, then bring the legs closer together. If that's really what it's about, crisscross the legs. In a classy way, and arch the back. So you cannot bend over too much. I shouldn't say classy, it's a little bit more artful in my mind. It looks a little bit more artsy. So, my point, as a promoter, now that's speaking as a judge, but as a promoter, I promoted with my wife for the last several years the IMBF LA in Los Angeles, and when we promoted that show, sponsors who saw these pictures of the girls, I was asked quite often by them if all of the women are on stage doing such poses. They wanted to know the nature of the show they were potentially sponsoring and putting money towards. They didn't know. To some of them, it was absolutely, in their minds, they didn't know what it was. They didn't know. So it made them uncomfortable. Now that's their issues, of course, but in my case, personally, and this is the reason why I'm not judging it anymore, but in my case personally, I feel that it's a pose that's so unnecessary. I feel it's so unnecessary to do that a simple back shot where the girls can, you know, slightly arch, just slightly, and keep the legs together or crossed is a more appropriate way of showing it.